Hey, Coach, I'm so excited you found us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe down below, hit the bell up above. That will take care of everything you need. Also, make sure you go down below and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. If you're looking for resources, if you're looking for a one-stop shop, if you're looking for everything that will make you a better basketball coach, you can find it down below at teachhoops.com. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. It's been a while, Coach.
It feels like it. I know.
I
I miss
know.
our miss our conversation, Steve.
It's yeah.
Well, how long did it take before we actually turned on the recording button? Almost an hour.
I know. We were catching up. You were listening. It's yeah, and I apologize for my voice, but this is, if anybody's listened to my other podcasts, they can they'll anything from mid-November till February sounds like this. Because I'm scolding sometimes, or I don't know, redirecting. I'll say I'm redirecting.
Redirecting. Yeah, that's right. Giving direction to your players on the court.
All right, so
And
talk about your coaching youth plan, your practice plans. How's that going?
It's going really well. They had a great getting some great feedback from coaches. So thank you, coaches, for those who are using the practice plans. And if you haven't, go to basketballpracticeplans.com, download yours. Everything you need for the season and more. We got some surprises coming up on version 2 as well in the next fall.
So, I don't even know about version 2. We'll have to talk about that off the
air. Yeah. No, okay. I don't know how I didn't say that, but yeah, we got some good things in the works for next fall already. So pretty excited about that, and selling the offense a little bit too. The ABC's offense, coaches are enjoying that simplicity of that, and so yeah, no, everything's moving right along. I was pleasantly surprised. We've just launched in September. So thank you again, coaches. That's thank you. Appreciate all your support.
Yeah, we're getting lots of great input on this podcast, which is why we're still doing it.
That's right. Yeah, no, that feedback you guys have been giving us, really appreciate that. That fuels us, keeps us going, and
yes,
keep it coming. Just because we want to hear from you. We want to know if we're on the right track, and if we're not, we want to change it. So
right, we want to know what you want to know, and we also want what you want to hear about. And then if you listen on Spotify or any listening things, if you go leave a review, that helps, because that, like I said, it fuels Coach and I, because we're both mid-season, and we like doing this, but we're when Coach came on, we're on video here for those of you who are listening, and he looked like you're a couple hours earlier than me.
Yeah,
like oh crud, like I feel like I woke him up. It's pretty funny.
I had to comb my hair real quick.
I just put a hat on. I actually got a haircut, so I put my Disney hat
I got
on.
one a couple weeks ago. So.
And for me, I'm my membership, my goal is January 1, but coachingyouthhoops.com. Go over and check it out. I'm not going to say much about it because I'm still working on it. So what's today's lesson, Coach?
Today we're going to talk about how do you get kids to play hard. But my question is, well, what's playing hard? What does that mean? Right? What does playing hard mean? And we've heard all coaches, you probably said it, you got to play harder, right? Well, what does that mean? So I think we should define what playing hard means. And I think that's how go ahead.
No, go. I
was gonna say, I think that is the missing key. You can't just tell a kid to play hard. You have to define what playing hard is. An example. We want on defense, we want to get 2 charges a game, right? We want to get 2 charges a game, whatever that number is, right? But that's clearly defining your definition of playing hard. Another one might be getting X number of stops in a row, right? Something you could easily track, or anybody could easily track. On defensive stops.
Right. So it's similar to, so I always think about playing hard, like be a better leader. Like we say that, but we don't tell them what a leader does.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's very similar. So things that we track in our program, we track diving on the floor for loose balls.
Yep.
We talk about deflections. We talk about offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
because there's a lot of hustle and offensive rebounds. We obviously do charges like you do. We do we actually rank our and again, what is playing hard? Not everyone gets to play. So we
Mhm.
actually track our bench and how many times they stand up and how many times they
Mm.
cheer their teammates on, because that's them playing hard.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so and then we talk again, those are a lot more of those are defense, but we also talk about how many rotations we get on the offense. So playing hard is executing.
Yeah.
So then we come up with some execution levels that we want. Like we call it 7 and 7. So either you take the shot in the first 7 seconds or you make 7 passes.
Mm.
That's an execution of the offense, because 2
Mhm.
passes, we're probably not going to get a very good shot.
Yeah.
So so we have some offensive tendencies too. Do we get a post
Okay.
touch?
Mhm.
Do we get a dive? So defense is a lot easier to find it as far as showing hard.
Right. Right.
And then I will do, especially in practice, I will stop practice at times and ask them, are you ask them their level of tiredness, how hard have you been working, and have them grade themselves. And then I said, well, where should we be? Look at the drill we're doing, or the thing we're doing right now. Where should we be? You guys say you're at, a 5 tired wise. Maybe we should be at it. Why aren't you? And then we talk about it. So sometimes it's an indication at the moment that they think they're playing hard, but they don't understand the physicality of what that means, I think sometimes.
Yeah. A little bit of a tangent on playing hard though. I went to St. Mary's College and I sat in on the girls' basketball practice. They have what I'll call, because since we're talking about a playing hard meter strapped to every girl, and it actually tracks a bunch of stats, their heartbeat, their rhythm. It does it as an individual basis and as a team, and they have a upper limit depending on, do we got a game in 1 day? Do we got a game in 2 days? Oh, it's 3 days out before our next game, so we can go a little bit harder. Oh, we got a game tomorrow, so let's, back it down. They got one guy that sits there on his laptop looking at all of these levels, and then he literally calls practice. Okay, we reached our limit. That's it for the day. Even if he had an hour, 2 hour practice, he calls it and they're done. Hour and a half. Okay, they did their load for the day. Isn't that pretty exciting?
What are they wearing?
Yeah, it's strapped to their sports bra, and it's just like it's a little device
Is it a
that they want
company?
Yeah, and I can't, now I'm blanking on the name of the company,
Because
because we
I'm
actually
going to get like 17 emails now on what company this
what
is.
company? That's good. Then you get full. I'll find
That's
out.
true. That's true. We'll put it in the show
We'll
notes
put it
once
in the
I
show
get
notes.
it, so I don't have to
Exactly, but
answer all
that's
these.
pretty fascinating. Yeah, and we looked into it. It's actually not that expensive. Don't want to. We're talking youth hoops anyway, so I don't want to get distracted. We're not going to strap that on that 4th grade
No, we are
player.
definitely
So,
not.
but playing hard, I think you nailed it, and I think you just need a plan of a number of things. So, what could it specifically a youth coach? And remember, it could be just them, or they might have a player, or might have a parent helping, assisting them, that they could define. What are 3 things in your mind that a youth coach could say, okay, this is my definition of playing hard? You've already said them, so let's just do a quick recap.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure. Again, this is from my youth playing
Yeah.
coaching days. I'm not sure I want them diving on some of those floors.
Oh, really?
Like,
Oh,
there's some bad. We're in some tile bad floors, when like they're not wood floors.
hmm.
They're cafeterias. I don't know.
You know how you
Maybe
solve that? Knee pads.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying there's a difference between a 4th grader and an 8th grader too.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do elementary. Let's do middle
Okay.
separately.
Okay.
So I
So
would definitely put
elementary
diving
first.
on the floor for a middle school kid, as one of the. How many times are you going after loose balls?
Yeah. So loose balls. So that's playing hard. Uh, Taking a charge.
Yep.
I mean, in middle school was one,
Yep.
and then I think you got to go with rebounds,
Yeah. Offensive rebounds.
offensive rebounds.
And the
Okay.
reason I've always picked offensive rebounds is defensive rebounds is a standard and an expectation. An offensive rebound is,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
expect you to get dressed and go to school.
Yeah.
It's an
Right.
expectation you're going to wear clothes to school. You're going
Yeah.
to go naked. So defensive rebounding is you should box out all the time. Offensive rebounding is harder. I just think it's a more effort thing. It's, I don't know. I don't know what it would be an analogy of that, but I think yeah. So I would do offensive rebounding for middle schoolers.
So with your high school, a quick question. Let's say your rebounding goal is whatever, I don't know, what is it? 25, 15? I don't know. Offense, I don't know if you combine them or look at them separately. Let's just call it 10. If you got out rebounded by 1, is that a win or a loss for you in your mind?
The loss. If we lose a rebounding battle on either end, it's a loss.
Yeah.
We emphasize rebounding all the time.
Yeah, we got out rebounded 1 game. So far, we're doing really good on rebounds, but
Yep.
1 game.
So you must it's whatever you emphasize.
Yeah,
so
so
like
our number one thing.
we
Right.
emphasized this last game that you and I were talking about before we came in the air. We were emphasizing rebounding, keeping them out of the paint,
Yeah.
and closing out, and we did a pretty good job on all 3 of them. Because again, I only give them 3 things to think about, and they did we did a rebounding. I mean, I haven't looked at the stats yet, but I know I'm guessing we won the rebound battle. So yeah. And
What
again,
about,
sometimes it's not a number. This stats teacher, it's a comparison in that game.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's more of the battle I'm playing with that team. Like I might be able to get 20 rebounds against this team because they're horrible. But I might get 7 rebounds against this one team and they get 4. That's a win. So I'm always comparing the opponent, how we're doing against the opponent. Thought that we're digressing here.
Yeah.
What about middle? What about elementary? What do you think about elementary school?
I think that rebounds, and I think for the elementary, it's both offense and defensive rebounds.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Steals, right? Turnovers caused. What about that? Like popping a ball out,
or even like deflections, maybe at that age.
deflections.
Like, you get a hand on the ball.
Yeah.
Because steals, there might be a higher standard deviation for ability level. The really good athletes can steal the ball a lot and not even work that hard. But deflections are harder. Deflections means you're being active. So I might think that at the elementary level.
Yeah. Okay, so deflections, rebounds on both offense and defensive rebounds. Probably not practicing taking in charge, right?
No.
You don't want them diving on the ground, maybe, right? Playing on some of those.
I personally don't. I would in knee pads, maybe if we're in the 70s and we're playing a semi-pro or whatever. What was that movie, Semi-Pro? I think one thing that we could add to both, and that I add to mine, it's really hard to talk when you're tired. So I track communication at all times, that they're communicating and that they're pointing, and if they're not communicating verbally, they're pointing and doing things, because sometimes they're too tired to even say something, but you can communicate by pointing and directing and doing things like that. So playing hard is a mental part too, and it's hard to talk, and it's a skill that I've noticed a decline in communication. I don't know, post-COVID maybe. So I throw that into basically everything we do. So I would definitely throw it into a hustle track.
Yeah, that's a good one. And that's always hard. I don't care what level you're teaching, grade school to high school, having the kids talk on the court and on the bench. I mean, I think, that's, can't, like you said, playing hard on the bench for someone, right? Is they should be, we have every bench player who's ever, I don't care if it's a starter who's just happens to be out. We have a shot clock. So in high school, it doesn't matter, even if you're elementary, though, they have to be communicating, right? Good call, play defense, whatever they're talking about. With the shot clock, we do, we have a specific code word when it gets down to, when we have the ball, 10 seconds, right? So we yell out this code word. So our players on the court know, hey, okay, we gotta do something here. So just the communication on the bench, like you said, high fives coming off the bench, that's part of communication too.
I think that's big. All right, anything else, Coach, to add to this? Any closing
remarks?
remarks?
So I would just say, coaches, just pick out your favorite things of playing hard, define what those mean, put a definition. You want X number of loose balls or rebounds or charges or steals, deflections, etc. Put a number towards that, and start tracking it in your games. But you have to practice that. And you have to emphasize it as well in practice.
And in closing, for me, I would say pick one thing first.
Mm-hmm.
Just pick one. Because again, youth coaches tend to be by yourself, blah, blah, blah. Pick one.
You have one practice a week.
But yeah, pick one thing
Right.
and just emphasize that one thing, and you will see an improvement. And then you can always add to it. It's the teacher in me. So
Right.
get good at that one thing. If it's whatever it is you wanted, that say, here's what playing hard is, do this. And then if they start doing that on a regular basis, then add something to it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
I think us just throwing ideas at you is hopefully helpful. So, all right, until next week.
Till next week, coaches, good luck.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like before you leave. And also go over and check out tryouts.com for coaches who want to get better. It's got everything and a roadmap for you to become a better basketball coach. So go over and check it out. And let's head back to the next video, wherever that would be.